Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Good Chat. Today in the studio with me I've got Josh Ashelford, my co-host, with also Trent, Cuzens, and Sam G has returned for another episode. How are we, guys?
Absolutely amazing, mate.
Yep, good to hear Trent, Sam.
Yeah, not bad.
Big week, mowing lawns.
Oh, flat out, mate. Grass doesn't stop growing.
Hey,
That is true.
Josh, what's going on, mate?
No, fresh back, mate.
Happy to be back in the new year.
Yeah, loving it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this will be your, first week back at work now?
Yeah, it's a big one.
It was hot?
Big one.
Fucked it.
Yeah, it's hot.
What was the heat this week? What was the temp?
Warm. Very.
I think
I
you
work
got
in a kitchen with no aircon, so...
warmer than that.
Warmer than that, man.
Ooh. Yeah, don't fuck with me.
Pretty sure we got up to about 34, 36 degrees this week sometimes.
She was toasty though, she was toasty.
Today, guys, we're just in the studio. We've been having a couple of fucking beers beforehand.
Clearly.
Before we started. We were supposed to start a while ago, but obviously, when you're surrounded with good company, you can't fucking handle yourselves and you just slip away.
Chat.
Slip away into the abyss that is drunkenness. So tonight, me, Trent, and Josh are drinking Carlton Dry, and Sam is drinking VB like
You
a
lied.
fucking
Yeah, the
jet.
fucking a long neck too.
Oh, Josh called me out on a lie. I was trying to protect him.
Would you ever lie again?
Josh is drinking Great Northern tonight. What fish?
Against my will.
The cherry popper.
Doesn't have paint
Shout out to
buds.
Josh's boss.
I feel like Great Northern is the basic bitch beer of blokes.
It's the cruisers of beer.
I was going to say, it's like the entry level.
It's a
You just come
borderline.
into beers.
Like
It's
you're,
like-
You're fresh out of high school.
No, you're fresh just like when you started drinking, you're like, oh, Great Northern, I've seen that on the TV before. Yeah, I might try that.
you've jagged a girl
I'm
that's
from
way
up
too
here,
good for
and
you.
so is the beer.
You've jagged a girl that's way too
Oh,
good for
boy.
you. You're going to meet her dad.
Oh,
You
boy.
don't drink beer. And
You bring him
six
back.
pack of Great Northern.
Whitefish.
Like that's
Whitefish.
Oh.
Here you go, sir.
I'm gonna.
Thanks for being in my
I don't think I've had a proper big session on Great Northern since I was about 17. I'll go the latest, but definitely 16. It was my fucking go-to all the time. What was yours?
16, man. I was, and I hate to admit it,
Say
but
it.
actually, no, I don't. 'Cause
Say it,
it was
fuck
good.
it.
It was
Say
good.
it,
Cunt.
we all know.
You know, the 4X summer mangoes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh, so fruity.
It was beer, but with fruit in it. And my dad told me every single time I had a carton of it. But it was good to, like, you know, sort of wean yourself onto the taste of beer.
It didn't even
But
taste
then,
like beer.
but then
that was
I
the issue.
I drank that for longer than I want to admit. And then one day I just sort of I had one, was just like, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm drinking.
You just taste buds just switch.
Yeah, they
eh?
just changed, and I was like, oh, I'll get on some real beer, and then went and got a carton of Great Northern Whitefish, as every 17-year-old kid does.
All my friends
But
are drinking whitefish.
My sort of beer evolution was quick. Like, I went from summer mangoes to like had a couple months drinking Whitefish, and then Dad, a seasoned drinker.
a heavy beer
It's a
Very
drinker, we
polite
should
way of
say.
saying alcoholic.
Been around the block, like Jenny.
Only ever, from as long as I sort of can remember, only ever sort of drank 4X bitter or of that sort of thing. And for the last few years, been really on the 4X bitters. And so I just, whenever I didn't have enough money to buy beers, I'd have to just drink those.
Yeah.
And then like it didn't take long once I moved to the Northerns for me to just go, these actually have a bit more flavour than Great Northern does. So I started drinking 4X bitters, drank them for ages. And then, eventually just sort of moved on to VB. I don't know why, but like I'll still obviously go back to the 4X bitter, but
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it actually, is the flavour. Because a lot of people who don't like VB bitters, or you can even put like Melbourne bitters in that category of like, they're the beeriest beers. You know, like, they're a
Aussie
very
beers.
hard taste, but to so many people, they're just like, oh, it just tastes like fucking death. But if you can actually appreciate the beer and you can appreciate the taste, like VB when I was 16, not a fucking chance in hell was I
In
drinking.
VB in my house,
this
it's called
doesn't have
vomit
mango in it.
buckets.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
fruit.
Yeah.
Okay, I know Josh has a fucking cooked evolution of drinking, so Josh, why don't you fucking jump into yours, mate?
Yeah, I feel like mine is fucking completely backwards to just about everybody else. So, I started when I was probably, I don't know, whenever I started.
I have to bleep these ages out. I feel like
14 or 15. Probably.
You were 12.
Just finished like primary school graduation.
Dad gave me
Nah,
this.
and I actually started on spirits. So pretty much like my parents like would drink like Jim Beam or fucking Wild Turkey or something like that. So I pretty much grew up, and when I started drinking, I came in on spirits, just fucking heavy hitting.
So they weren't beer drinkers at all, or they were just mostly spirits?
Not really. No, my dad
Wow.
did drink beers, but like growing up, he just fucking got over beers.
Yeah.
And I feel like you just get to that stage,
Yeah.
and you're just like, fuck beers. You get enough money, and you can
Well,
start
also,
buying bottles of shit. So
like,
it's
even
like,
if it's not
that.
fuck beers, it's like, fuck, I'm old enough to not have to
You can
worry
literally
about
probably
it. You
just
can get
afford
whatever you want.
anything more than a beer.
You just don't feel the pressure of like.
Yeah, like if you
I
like
have
beer,
to
you drink beer, but
But-
if you don't like
like
beer,
he didn't.
you can
He's not like fuck beer. Like he'll have a beer,
He
but
just
like
prefers something else.
he'll drink spirits. So I literally grew up. So I'm just such a fucking young kid, just drinking
12 years
spirits.
old.
I'm like
18 years old.
18 years old. I'm like, this is the best thing in the world. So I drank spirits, and I would like, as I was drinking, like young, old enough, I would just fucking have a beer every now and then, and I'm like, oh yeah, beers are alright. But like I come in as on your entry level, fucking your Northerns, your Whitefishes, and I'd have a couple of them, and I'm like, oh, they're alright, but they taste like fucking ass. Like when you go from drinking fucking like a spirit, which is kind of like a soft drink on fucking meth, kind of thing, and you go to like a beer, and you're like, why would the fuck would I?
Why am I
drinking
Why would I
this
drink
right
that when
now?
it tastes like shit?
Yeah.
When you can have a spirit, which is probably more fucking potent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I was drinking that, and it was probably not until I was probably like fucking maybe 19 or so that I started like getting into beers and actually enjoying beers for like
Yeah.
not just drinking beers because the boys are drinking beers and there's a carton here and I'll have a few beers.
Wow,
to
you were
fucking-
in the closet with beers. You just-
Drinking in the
Yeah, I'm coming out now. I'm openly coming out. I was a closeted beer drinker. Yeah,
You'd sit home 'cause the
like,
boys are drinking
On the way
beers.
home from work, he'd get a 6-pack and sit there in his room and hope no one noticed.
I would practice.
Crying.
So before that, I would practice. I'd buy a carton of beers and just quietly drink a
Practice
couple
it.
every night, get used to the taste. No, but I would just like I'd be like, oh yeah, beers are alright. Like I'll drink them, but like now, I don't know if it's because I'm short on money or I've just grown up. Like I can sit there and beers.
Beers
Are
are
probably,
nice.
I'll reach for a beer now before I reach for a fucking spirit.
Yeah.
But like yeah, that's
Trent, what was
fucking
yours?
different.
I mean, so I have like my two older brothers, and
Yeah.
then when I first probably started drinking, it would have been, I don't want to say my age either, but
18.
Yeah,
and then
18.
6 years later, you were 18 on
yeah,
your 18th
or
birthday.
the same again. So that they would only drink Whitefish, like purely just
Yeah.
because it was the beer from up here. You know, everyone would want that, but from like, I would always like, everyone loved their sweet stuff. You know?
Right.
You'd love your cruisers, your UDLs, kind of like that. I
Yeah.
loved them.
UDLs.
Oh,
Oh, man,
Better than
whenever-
cruisers, that's for
whenever
sure.
I'm treating myself, it's a card and a passion for a UDL.
How good's
It's
it?
like, oh.
Just off topic. Oh no, not really off topic at all. Fuck.
Yeah.
Those are how good now. UDLs do the 10-pack. It's like a variety pack. Basically,
Yeah, it's
what,
a
you know
mix.
how what the cruisers had,
were?
Yeah.
like fucking not
UDLs.
home brand.
Yeah.
Like I feel like UDLs are the fucking superior.
But you know what
I
you
would
can't get
prefer a
anymore?
UDL.
You can't get 6-packs of UDLs. They only do like the 4-packs now.
Yeah,
You know,
actually,
you know how
noticed
they
that.
rebranded with the retro cans?
Yeah.
I was in Brizzy for New Year's and walked into a bottle-o and they only had 4-packs and I was like to the guy at the counter, do you not do 6-packs anymore?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, no, they stopped doing them like not long ago.
That's weird. I remember
Yeah.
Oh, we're probably a little bit too young. but
WKD?
WKD.
Yeah. I think
Oh.
actually, no, one of my first sessions, my brother had some of them in the fridge, and I was like, I don't know what these are. I'm just going to grab them out of the fridge, and then, you know, went to my
Yeah.
whatever party it was, and I was like, yeah, I got these. And I was like, woo!
Lolly waters.
Yeah.
Fucking. Mine was like my upbringing on beer is so fucking exotic because like I started at 18, the bright young age of 18.
Mm-hmm. As we all
Well, you
do.
had your first alcohol
And then-
beverage.
It was Coronas. Coronas was just it.
Oh,
but
you
it's funny.
did too, you
It's
did.
funny that you say Great Northern because if you actually look at the history of Great Northern, so Great Northern has been around forever. But can you tell me? Okay, so what? I was probably 2010, 2009 when my old boys drink Coronas. I don't know how you guys are fucking young as fuck, so you guys are like
I was 7 years old.
yeah, exactly.
Hey, in 2000.
I was
Everyone
drinking,
was
yeah, no,
younger than us,
I was
really.
drinking beer.
But,
then.
okay, so like my dad is a massive, massive beer drinker, and if you're listening to this right now, and your dad was is a massive Great Northern drinker, Great Northern has been around forever, but it's only been massive since 2009, 2010ish, and it's funny because I was told this by a liquor wholesaler who said that all Great Northern did was change their name. They had a different name originally, but they marketed it so well to be patriotic for fucking Queensland that now it's the beer from up here and every cunt's fucking jerking off because Queensland's the best fucking state in the world, that now
Yeah.
Great Northern does so fucking well.
Yeah,
And
I
it's-
don't know what you're talking
it's
about.
so funny
No,
because
it's not.
I look back at like when I was that age and I was smashing cartons of Coronas like
At 9.
no, but like my old boy did, and then like
Bit of
it went from that.
dishwashing liquid.
It went from that to like Great Northern's like it was nothing, and that's because it was marketed so well. So
Look,
I
it makes
started
sense,
on Corona, and then I went from Corona to Great Northern all the way through, right up until probably I was 18, and then even at 18 I only switched to 4X Gold because it was cheap. It was the cheapest beer at pubs, and then I was like, because a lot of my drinking is probably based off money. If I can drink what I want and I got the money in the bank, if I don't got the money in the bank, I'm drinking Great Northern. And so, but like it went great. It went 4X Gold, and then I realised that 4X Bitter was stronger, and then I just come to like the taste. So I went 4X Gold, 4X Bitter, and then it was 4X Bitter for probably a year or two, and then I moved down south and worked as concreter down there, and then it was fucking VB all the way. And it's only just recently that Carlton Dry has become the massive front runner.
I feel like fucking throughout probably all of us within the last 12 months or so, Carlton Dry, Soji Quick.
Carlton Dry's
No,
become
no,
massive.
definitely. Like even for me, like when we go to the pub for. Remember when we like first had the idea for Pubcats? Well, you
Yeah, it
had
would have
the
been that
idea
state
for
of origin
Pubcats.
night.
And we were going down and having like palmy night on a Wednesday at the Cry.
Yeah.
And you would always be drinking Carlton Dry. I'm going. Oh,
Well,
I'd never had
yeah.
a Carlton Dry at that point, but I'm going. Fuck you drinking those for, bro?
I never had
Oh,
one.
Yeah, because you always think of like Carlton Draft when you think Carlton
Yeah.
Dry. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck that. But I remember having one because my godmother, that was only strictly that what she used to drink. And I was like, she's like, oh, you can have one of these. And I tasted it and I was like, ugh. Like, hated it. And I was like, Carlton Dry. Oh, yeah, it's just different name. but
Carlton
same
Dry's Great Northern's better looking cousin.
It literally is.
Yeah, it's like-
literally
it's
is.
like a mixture.
beer that
It's got a bit more
anyone
taste.
could like, but also has more taste in it. Like that's why I reckon Great Northern's so big is because it's just you can't hate it,
Yeah.
but you can't
No,
love
there's
it
some
either at the
fuckwits that
same
love
time.
it. Oh, I don't know if they're fuckwits. I don't know if they're all fuckwits.
Well, Great Northern was my beer. Like I drink like a 4X or a bitter here and there, but like a go-to, like a Northern would be my beer. Literally until fucking Trent introduced me to fucking dries.
No?
The first time I had a dry was when we were driving out to fucking Barnville. We went out to the pub there that night for dinner.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then,
fuck.
And
that's
we
a whole
picked-
different story.
We,
itself.
yeah, that is a different story itself. But we picked up fucking Trent in whoever's car we were in, and fucking Trent rocked
Well,
in.
yeah, we were with Blake and I had the carton. Yeah, that's
he
right.
rocked
'cause-
in with like a fucking carton of
Carlton
Carlton
Dries.
Dries. And he's like, oh, you want one of these? I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I'd seen him before. I'd seen him, and I was
Just
like,
some craft
I was
beer that
like,
you bring
and
up.
I was like, Carlton Dry, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess. I'm here for the fucking long run, so I might as well. Had one, and I was like, fuck, they're actually not too bad. And pretty much since then,
I think
Carlton
we-
Dry has been my fucking beer. Like, literally, since that night, like, I'll still drink, like, Northerns or, like, a 4X or something like that. But when you have them, I reckon it's like a I don't know, it's just a different taste, and you have a dry, and you're like,
Yeah.
fucking, I'm home.
Even with like, I was massive no to craft beers. All types of craft beers.
I still am like that, but I feel like my taste buds have changed.
Also, if you go to a brewery, like I'm talking like a fucking real man's brewery, go to a brewery where they've got...
Factory?
Nah, I'm talking a brewery where they got like 40 taps and a different beer on every fucking tap. Like they exist. You go there and you ask for their heaviest beer, and they've got some fucking heavy beer. So there's a brewery outside of Pottsville called the Red Earth Brewery. It's now called the Earth Brewery, and I would love to take all the Pubcats there, 100%. But there they have a beer, and I think it's called the Lightning Lager, which is like 9.3% alcohol. And you drink it by the pint, which is $11 a pint, and you only need, like, I've walked out of there fucking rolled off my fucking shoulders.
$11 a pint. What is that, like 3 standards at 9% alcohol?
Yeah, probably closer to 4 standards. And then, like, so you drink, but, like, because it's so heavy, you drink and then you're, like, nearly cut on your fucking second one. And then by your third one, you're like, okay, I'm fucking ready to party. And then your fourth one, you're like, I'm ready for fucking bed. Like, that's the cycle. But, like, you go to places like that, and I find, personally, with craft beers, all the mid-range ones, all the light ones, dog shit. Stay away from, like, if you drink, for example, like VB or like a heavier, bitter beer, the heavier the craft beer, the actual more bitter the taste. And I think that's, like, where I've come to like them. Like, if you drink, for example, Black Hops Brewery has the Super Hornet, which is like 2.8 standards in a can, and that is a fucking heavy beer. And I think that's a little bit too extreme. Like, I'll drink them, and then they're scary.
Right.
And so, like, but they do taste like a fucking. They do not taste like craft beer at all.
Yeah, I've had some of the fellas at work drink that Black Hornet.
Yeah.
At work, and you're just like, oh, you're only bringing one beer to the beer table, and like, oh no, mate, trust me, it'll rattle you. I'm like, oh yeah, bring me 2 next time. So next day I had 2, and like, no joke, I was sitting there, I was like, yeah, so who wants to go to the pub, eh? Like, oh, I'm fucking keen for the Pokins or something.
Yeah,
They're just
so
like,
like,
oh, yep,
See,
Trent.
I was never like against craft beer. So like, you know, like a James Squire 150 lashes.
It's a good lunchtime
James
beer.
Squire sort of is now like not really a craft beer as much because it's a bit more like mass produced, but it like their 150 lashes. Like I love that's a great just lunchtime beer or your first few beers on a session. Like you have one of those
Special.
because like I always sort of
Fish
apart from
block.
the mango beers and the Northern Whitefish, I always followed Dad a lot with what beers I like just because that's what was in the fridge and I was poor. And every now and then he'd let you have a few.
Drink. Yep.
And so, but every now and then, like when I turned, I mean, I was 18 the whole time I was drinking, but when Dad let me go to the pub with him, we'd like go down and like he'd say, he'd buy me like a 150 lashes, and that'd be good. Or when I moved down to Brizzy for uni, and he'd come down for a weekend or whatever, we'd go out to this bar in Brisbane, and you have to like choose the right pub in Brisbane, otherwise you're only drinking craft beer the whole night because that's all they have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like we went to this one pub that was across the road from the motel the hotel he was staying in, and they only had craft beers. And we sat there and had one, and it was pretty shit. And we had this other one, and it was just like it was like you said, it was one of the heavier ones.
Yeah,
it was really nice. And it's like I've never been against craft beers because Dad's always, you know, been brave enough to venture into a craft beer, and I've just followed him along with whatever beer he sort of likes.
Well, see, like I was a big no-no on craft beer, but just come around to it. I think like you look back on when you're younger, even, and you fucking drink anything. Like essentially, it was like.
You can get a little fat lamb.
Yeah, I was going to say, you remember a little fat lamb and goon mixed together?
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got hustled that many times, like older siblings, and you're like, I saved up $100 from working at Foodworks. Can you go get me a carton of this? And they'd come back with a 10-pack or something, knowing that you're going to get rolled off a 10-pack, and they pocket the change and be like, here's 10 beers, mate. We'll get you a fucking beer. You'll drink them and you'll fucking act drunk even though you're not drunk at all. And they're like, you'd end up some fucking cook places, but like as a young fella, you don't really give a fuck. But like, I was just going to touch on talking about all this shit right now. Like, doesn't it just make you think like the culture here would have to be somewhat similar, like less respectable, 1,000%, but like somewhat similar to that of Germany, who are like so respected in their like the drinking age is 14 in Germany.
Yeah, but I feel like that's why it's respected in Germany, because their drinking age is
Hey,
their drinking age is so young.
yeah,
So like they don't have to put up with they have more time to figure out, this is what I like, and they don't have to try all these beers like we had to. They're just like, this is what you get.
What's
and
the drinking age?
14. As soon as you're 14, you can go straight into a bar and like, can I get a stein of like...
up until 2011, any alcoholic drink under... what was it? Any alcoholic drink under 3% alcohol or 3.5% alcohol was considered a soft drink. So light beers were considered a soft drink in fucking Germany.
I moved there.
So like 7-year-olds band.
Yeah.
Really well.
7-year-olds. Mum, this is such a good Sprite.
14's the drinking limit.
It's still the drinking limit.
Yeah, but then like the lower the drinking limit, the less
Pussy you are?
of a what's the word, like novelty it is.
Yeah.
Like if you've been drinking beers legally since you were 14,
You've
like,
been at the pub with mum and dad having a beer with dinner.
if you're like when you're 14, you're gonna go
You
there and
can
have a
drive
feed
home.
with mum and dad, but you're not gonna sit there and drink a heap of piss.
But
If you had like 1 or 2 beers, like every year after that, it's not going to be like such a big thing.
It's not, yeah.
Where you're just like, oh my
How
god,
weird is that? Imagine
oh my
you're
god,
in
I've been
grade-
waiting for this for so long. I
Imagine
can
you're
finally
grade
do it.
8 and you go down with
You're
fucking...
going to school hungover.
Imagine you get
Oh,
bed
sorry.
with the
We just had a
boys.
family dinner last night.
but it's not like that over there, right? It's like respectable
Yeah, it's like-
drinking,
really?
Yeah, like that.
It's like
That's what I mean. Like the difference in like ours is massive party vibe. Like
Yeah.
when we're 14 drinking over here, extremely illegal.
I was gonna
But
say,
I
we're
think
like,
when I was 14,
like
having
even
beers-
14 is fucking young over here. Like we'd be like,
yeah.
but I
That
think
would
that's
be a
also
fucking-
because of
That's a
the
big night.
because of the party vibe over here. It's just different. And like over there, we had an exchange student. Oh, her name was Pauline, a German exchange student named Pauline, who was 16 years old over here, and she was blown away. A part of her being an exchange student in Australia was that she was not allowed to touch alcohol at all, even if she was 18, but she was 16. And she went back to Germany, and I had her on Snapchat because
You creep.
sexy German girl, come on. But had her on Snapchat. She was in fucking nightclubs like a week after she moved back to Germany. Just nightclubs of her fucking tits at 17.
I reckon
Legal.
Germany nightclubs would be pretty
18
as well.
Scary.
I reckon it'd be pretty fun.
Ramstein on repeat.
Just no, they're live, man.
Rusty.
It's just one big nightclub in
Rusty's
Germany.
in, even though it's Russian, but still.
Oh, yeah.
That would be deadly here. Like, imagine if the drinking age was 14 here. You're out on a Tuesday night with the boys at the Cry,
And you get
and then
stabbed
you
by
get
an
science straight up in the morning on a fucking van. Imagine that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
14
sure.
years old here.
But that's like
I was 14
that's
when my
just
brother
the
turned
difference of
18.
the culture.
You're down having a palmy and about 10 beers, rock up to science the next day blind.
I guarantee you, in
Why are you-
Germany
why
there
are
would
you
be
drunk?
way less 18-year-olds like blind drunk
Yeah.
every weekend than there
Yeah,
is.
there would
Even
be.
though the population over
But
there would be
all-
millions and millions.
the majority would be like
Millions of-
16, 17 probably, and then by the time they're like fucking legal
Yeah.
age, they're like got a house and kids and
Yeah.
like trying to kill all the Jews or something.
You know, just normal German shit.
Just that, like,
Just
as you
German
do.
shit.
But
Just trying
like,
to
if
take
you,
out a race.
like, I know this isn't really like a good representation of Germany, but you know the Bavarian restaurants
Yeah,
that are
yeah,
all across
yeah.
like Australia now.
Yeah.
Some of the beers they have there are like, they're not a beer that you'd sit there and have fucking like 15 of,
Nah.
but they're a
Well,
beer that
you
you'd
can't
sit
have
there
15 of them when they're litre jugs.
Okay, yeah. So you got
15 litres.
Be real, Sam. Come on.
we went to the Bavarian.
What did you have? The Lowenbrow?
Lowenbrows.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
is what
The
we had
Lowenbrow's
actually.
it's a
I was going
nice
to say I had
beer,
no idea
agree.
what we had, but when you said that, I think that's what it
The
was.
Lowenbrow and the Hofbräu. There, or the
Maybe it was the
Hofbräu
Hofbräu.
might be another one. Hofbrau's.
Yeah,
or
you
something.
have
Hofbräu.
session beers, and then you have like
Hofbrau, that's it. Hofbrau.
Yeah, fucked
Yeah,
up beers.
yeah.
dinner. What did you say?
They're not-
Lunch beers. Before.
Lunch beers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you
I
have
feel like-
you're like, oh, I'll have a pint of that, but then you have
Yeah.
beers that are like, oh, let's get like fucking rowdy and like.
Well, it's funny.
I feel like
Yeah.
Australia has a lot more beers that are like 4X Gold. I
Easier
think
to
is the
drink.
beer that you could drink. See, I sort of
It's
skipped
a-
the whole
I reckon
4X
it's a day
Gold.
drinking beer.
I was never really a big 4X Gold guy. I reckon
Mhm.
I'd count. I would have had less than 30 4X goals in my whole life, I reckon.
Huh?
I was
Can we
never
get someone to count that?
never a big 4X goal drinker, but like all the beers in Australia are sort of more like you can have more, you can have
Yeah.
heaps.
Have a
Whereas-
crack.
It's either like, beers after
we
work.
didn't even, I don't even think we had litres on. I think we just had the 600ml pints at the Bavarian, and me and Dad had maybe 2 each of that, whatever you said, Lowenbrau. And it was like, I was like, yeah, that's plenty. Like it was good, real tasty, but you sort of weren't going back to like, oh yeah, I just keep drinking them all night. You were just like, yeah, that was good.
I'll tell you a funny fucking story actually about Barbarian. So I got invited with Dad and all the coppers in town. And so like Dad calls me and he's like, mate, I got a spare seat on this bus. It's all the cops in town. And he's just like, you can come with me and all the cops in town. And I was just like, alright, I need to buy some fucking good credit with some of the coppers in town. Alright, so I'm coming. I was like, what do I need to wear? And he's like, wear something German. So I like rock up, swastikas everywhere. I like rock up and I'm wearing like a fucking checkered shirt,
blonde hair, blue eyes,
big hat, and then the whole way there it was
American history.
That's what they like.
Oh, is that what they like?
Yeah.
They love blonde hair, blue eyes. Connor's like the ideal German.
Close. But then I get on the bus
More
and there's
context.
Eskies are free piss. And I was like, this is like a Wednesday night. Like, why the fuck are there so many coppers getting bent on a Wednesday night? There's free piss everywhere. And I think they got a rude fucking shock when I was like on the bus, like 8 beers deep before we go to the Barbarian. I'm like sat down, had like copper sat across from me, and I was just like, look dude, you can have all the food. I'm pretty well just here to get fucking lifted. So he eats like the whole meal. And I timed myself drinking the litres. And like, I didn't want to scull it because I didn't want to be a fucking hero, but I just wanted to drink it to see like, righto, like we'll start the timer, comfortably see how fast it takes you to drink a litre of beer. And like, it was either the Hofbrau or the Lowenbrau, and it was not too bad. My first one was 20 minutes to finish a litre comfortably.
Oh, that's not bad.
And, no, it gets way worse. So like, the first one you're talking to people, you got 20 minutes, and then like, I was like, oh yeah, no, feeling pretty good, 20. And then it just started to like slowly clock onto me. Next thing you know, I did the same with the second one. The second one was 38 minutes. The second one was 38 minutes. Do that, and then I go to the toilet and I come back. And the third one was 46 minutes, I think. And so like, right, this is taking me like an hour to drink. It's fucking lukewarm by the time I fucking get to
So young.
And then like, because the copper I was supposed to be sharing with, because I don't know if you've been there, but you can get like twin share platters. So what they do is they, like me and you sat on either side, they go, righto, they sit the share platter between us, it has like pork, chips and shit, and you're supposed to both eat it. And because I gave him the whole one, and he smashed it like a fucking champion, massive cunt, and he's like, right, I'll buy you a drink. I was like, righto. So I go for another piss and I come back and there's 4 shots of whiskey in front of me. Not another beer, cunt fucking got me good, because he's like, 4 shots is about the same as a beer. And I was like, oh, good. And I was sitting next to, I don't want to name him. I was sitting next to another copper, a really old copper, who was like, I fucking am too fucked up to be here. And then so we both smashed these shots, and the bus ride home was fucking hilarious. Like, I'll end it there, but like, that night made me realise and humbled me in thinking that like, right, I'm not going to go over to fucking Oktoberfest and just smash jugs of beer.
No.
You know,
Like,
like I feel
enjoy
like
it. You gotta like taste each one.
and that's what I mean. Like I feel like barely you're gonna be like, like liter of Stein and just be like, bang, done, 15 minutes, get another one, bang.
But
done, 15
Pubcats
minutes.
October.
You use your words, buddy.
Toga. Yep. We'll go
Toga
to
party
Germany
in
and
October.
have a toga party.
Oh shit, we got the wrong theme. Damn.
Pubcats Oktoberfest would be sick. Like,
Coming
I
soon,
want to go to
next
It's
5
definitely
years.
I want to go to
Next-
Oktoberfest.
There's a couple of trips where, like, I'm looking at setting up, but I just need everyone in good positions, and it might be a few years off. Because, like, obviously you're at uni, you've got a fresh one coming out, and then like a few of the a few of the boys will be a little bit predictable. But like Japan is another one.
Japan.
Yeah,
would be
skiing in
sick.
Japan.
Skiing in Japan.
I want to
Yeah.
go skiing in Japan.
That fucking.
Oh, we didn't even go
Remember
skiing
that
in
one?
New South Wales,
man.
No, but
Exactly.
Japan's another place that has actually pretty nice beers. Like,
Oscar
Yes.
did a trip to Japan with 15 blokes, and they booked a mansion on the ski lodge. Like the whole house to himself, this massive house, 15 blokes in there, and he reckons it was just a fucking bender for the week. He's like, get drunk every night, wake up, go straight to the slopes when you're ready, and then just like snowboard or ski all day, go up and down the slopes, and then go find a pub and sit at all afternoon.
Tommy was telling me a few
I was
stories
like,
about how it sounded fucking
like
hilarious.
Australia has like integrated that Asahi into their it's like a beer in most pub you'll see.
Yeah.
But apparently Japan has like a lot of nice beers. Like I like Asahi as well.
Yeah.
But apparently they have a lot of beers that are nice
I feel like
as well.
beer
like
is something
so.
that like started as kind of like a craft beer range.
Yeah.
Genuinely for the
It's been
taste
mixed with-
of drinking it, not to get drunk off it, and we've just taken it as like a thing.
Yeah,
Like,
taking it to
well,
something
you
where
take
you
this and
get-
it's like you're fucking bent, you're mad cunt. Like I feel like beer was like something that's just like a different taste to like a spirit beer or a spirit.
Yeah, I feel like
I was like-
shots.
no, like it's different to a spirit, and I genuinely feel like it was like kind of like a craft, like for the taste. Someone who enjoys the taste of it, and then like we've just come up with different like beers.
Think
that
about like
taste
even like
different.
the culture in Australia, like being young. If there was a 14-year-old legal age limit here, like when I was
First of all, like,
year
that'd be
old drinking piss.
14, I'd be like at least 6 years
when I
old
was
drinking
14,
legally.
I got on the beers. I had like 4 drinks, and I was like, "Me
Yeah.
now."
Well, that might be
after
the-
half a carton kind of thing. I was just like,
Bruh, yeah. But it's funny to like
How?
even like alright. So you look
Like
at
how?
when you're an adult, obviously, and you're walking home from the pub. Obviously, it's a guy thing. Like it is pretty shitty that girls can't do this. But how many times have you been at the pub and you're just like walking down sketchiest fucking neighborhoods, blind, drunk, shirtless, probably.
"Oh, that's just."
Singing Slim Dusty, just cruising home, you know, like you might have won on the pokies, you might have 800 cash in your fucking wallet,
And
tucked
you just
into your
feel-
sock or something.
You feel invincible, like
Yeah,
nothing can happen
You're
to
just
you.
That's
fucking
weird,
bulletproof walking home.
Whereas if you were a chick, you'd be doing the complete. You'd have your keys in your hand with the fucking some chick
Like
that
ready
I
to
knew
punch
ready
and
to
slap
slap
someone.
yeah, just ready
had her,
to
she told me like in Brizzy, like she every time she gets out of her car, puts her keys in her hand with the key out. So if anyone ever like attacks her, she can just like punch and have the key like stab
Oh, I
them
can
with it.
grab her so easy.
And I'm like,
Yeah, that's doing so
Like,
much.
that's-
Wait,
but when she told that to me, I was
Knock
like, I've lived in Brizzy for like 6 months and have never thought about doing that.
Yeah, I feel like
ever.
everyone's always expecting just like a fucking.
But Sam,
group
you're
of,
also like 6'7".
fucking people to be everywhere, you know.
Yeah, but
Okay,
like
but
that's the sucks thing about being a girl would be like having to worry about shit like that.
Yeah.
Whereas I've never ever thought about something
No.
like that in my life.
That's what I mean. Like in sketchy places like that, we never think about that. We're just like, yeah, no, we'll walk down this dark
It's so much
street.
you're a fucking kid. I feel like girls and 14-year-old boys are like par when it comes to like getting grabbed and shit.
Oh yeah, 14-year-old boys are so easy to grab.
So like,
Pardon?
chicks get grabbed fucking heaps, man. But still, like,
Oh, that.
when I was fucking 14, not 14, when I was 18 and drunk, like, think about some of the fucking cook places you were as a kid, and you don't even stress. If your parents were to find out, like, some of this shit at the time, you get fucking crucified.
Yeah. I am
Sketchy places you've been.
Where's
The
the
type of
sketchiest
places-
place you've
no,
been on the
Where have you been? You're saying
Nah,
that you've had to
I
get
don't
fucking.
fucking
It's the type of place where you have to. You're there the whole night, but you have to go somewhere else to call mum to come pick you up later in the
Yeah,
night.
because she doesn't want to come.
Because you know that if you got picked up from there, you would never be allowed out everywhere.
Yeah, no, I've got
Yeah,
I've
go on,
got one.
say yours.
There's like a shed. I can't remember where it is, but it's like one of my mates at school was like, "Oi, bro, I'm having this party this weekend." Like I
In a
wasn't the
shed.
big, I wasn't really the well. That's what I thought. I was like, "Oh yeah, his dad's shed that he's got on this like fucking property." Anyway, I was like, I wasn't a big party guy at school, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I will come to this party. Rock up, and I was just like, so this is in the middle of butt fuck nowhere, like no joke. It's like just paddocks and paddocks, and there's just a shed. And I was like, oh yep, and I was like, minimal lighting, and I was like, this is fucking like freaking me the fuck out. Anyway.
All mismatched cups on the beer pong table.
Yeah, and I was just like, anyway, so there's like a bunch of people, and like I was talking to my mates, I was like Snapchatting them, calling them, like, hey, you guys come to the party? Yeah, I'm on my way, and I was like, can you fucking hurry up, because I'm like actually scared. And like what Sam said before, it was the kind of thing where I was just like, yes, I'm actually going to get a lift into town and call my mum from like, you know, a respectable neighbourhood and like come pick me up, because I was like proper scared, and I was like walking down like, I think it might have been a highway somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure where we were. Walked down this highway for like probably a kilometre, seeing these people, and I was like, yep, can you come pick me up? And they're just like, yeah, we'll just drop these people off. I'm like, yeah, can you like make it quick? Come back, pick me up. I'm like, yeah, can you just drop me over here? Oh, you don't want to be dropped at home? I'm like, no, Mum wanted to pick me up.
I forgot about half that shit.
Oh, mate.
There's so much shit. There's so much shit
young,
that you go
so-
like, oh, I need to get here to here because I've already arranged a lift here.
This is where I told that I was going to be.
By this time
By
I
then-
need to be here because I've
How'd you
arranged
go
a
at the
lift.
end?
It's fuck.
Oh, at the end, I was still shitting my pants. Mum come pick me up from like, I don't even know where we were, some real like high-end estate.
And
Mum-
she's like,
Mum
Waiting
picked me
out
up.
the front and all
Mum
the
picks me up,
lights
she
are
goes,
off.
"Did you
Trent,
enjoy
why
your
are you
4 great
crying?
Northerns?"
You're waiting at the
Oh,
front and like
the
every
classic.
light is off
Off.
in the house. And they're like,
Yes.
everyone's asleep. But yeah, they all went to bed and I just
I was
waited at
like,
the
Mum,
front.
it was
for
a
them.
real quiet party. Like, walked in and I was like, oh, did you enjoy your beers? I'm like, yeah, thanks, Mum, for the 4 great Northerns.
Yeah,
Just
the
go home.
parent-
Me in bed, like all the sheets over, just like eyes open.
shaking.
Right, it was like
Me and
the
one other
weirdest
guy
thing.
were there. We had like 3 beers. The parents went to bed 2 hours ago.
I left one of
That's
the beers
like-
for the dad, man. It was just like,
Right.
but yeah, I don't even
Glassed
remember
myself
where it
with the
was,
other.
but like, it was kind of a real sus vibe because it wasn't like, you know, we'll have party music going. No, we had like weird screamo, like death metal, and I was like, oh, this would be like the kind of party I wanted to be if I was like worshipping the devil or something. you know?
Shirtless.
Bro,
Oh,
mine's pretty fucking cool. And I look back on this and I'm just like, what the fuck was I doing? Even though everyone who was there I knew. So like I rocked up to fucking I got an invite from Travis. Travis is like, oi, you should come out to Rangers Bridge. And I thought like maybe they'd been camping out there or some shit. And so I went to Mum and Dad. I was like, oi, I'm gonna go with Travis's family and camp at Rangers Bridge this week. And like I had no idea what
I remember
Rangers
that.
Bridge
I
was.
still remember that group chat.
I had no idea what Rangers
You're
Bridge
still in
was.
it.
I'm still in it, and every now and then we exchange snaps.
I had no idea what Rangers Bridge was, where it was, what it was. A fucking Con live. And I called Mum and Dad like, righto, I'm going out there to camp with the parents, and you know the parents are going to be there and this stuff. I'm a 14-year-old boy. Or 15. I'm a 15-year-old boy. I'm going to get a drink out there. I'm going to hide it from my mum and dad. Liv takes me out there. It is literally me, Travis, Trent McGee. That's all I saw. Right? There was a tent set up under this sketchy ass fucking bridge in the middle of nowhere. Like literally, there was cars driving over the bridge all fucking night. And I'm like 15, like, yeah, no, I'm just fresh on the drinking scene. I'm ready to fucking party.
This is mad.
And
This,
so, like,
this is the party, man. This is what
I didn't
party's gonna
realize.
be.
I didn't realize till the next morning that there was like 5 or 6 people in the tent. I didn't see anyone in the tent all fucking night. It literally just was me, Travis, and Trent sitting around a little tiny fire, drinking mismatched beers all night, sculling bottles of wine, and then like all I remember doing was like falling asleep, sitting on top of my swag, and then falling asleep in my swag, getting spooned by Trent McGee. And like next morning, as soon as I woke up, sun was up. It was like 4:30. Call Liv. I'm like, can you please come fucking pick me up? I'm literally terrified and I feel dirty.
I feel
I'm
dirty.
literally dirty and I feel dirty for being here right now. But that is easily like the fucking weirdest, sketchiest fucking place I got on the piss as a young person. Fucking could have rocked up and just choke a
He
slam.
would have been like, wait, do you guys need a lift to like, you know, get some fuel for your car? Or
Bloody hell, man, yeah, go. But like, you
Oh.
think of shit like that and you're just like, fuck man, like how am I still alive?
Like,
There are kids grabbed in broad daylight. that
And
are
you were just
fucking-
like, I'm in this sketchy place, like, you know, they're worshipping the devil, or, you know,
Yeah.
I'm spooning with Trent McGee, and you're just like, why am I actually, you
I'm
know,
like, well,
why
I
am
better
here?
get drunk to make the place better.
What about you, Sam? Where's the most, like, sketchiest place you've ever been?
I don't know, really. Like, I was thinking, we were talking about this before, and I could not think of.
It could even be like when you're walking home. Like, you know, when you're walking home, you just take. You know what? I haven't been down that street ever in my life. I might just walk down that one.
The one with the loud dogs.
The dogs that chase me, you know.
Like the most cooked places you've been is when you sort of like when you were younger and you were on that roll of like going out a lot on the weekends and shit. And Mum was giving you 4 of her mid-strength beers to take with you.
Mum, not even Dad.
You can't handle
this
it.
is why like, I never drank spirits because Mum and Dad both drank beers, but Dad was just drinking heavies and Mum would always be drinking mid-strengths. And so because we had the mid-strengths in the fridge, Mum would just be like, oh yeah, you can just take them with you to the parties. And
What's the most trouble you got in on this?
Oh, the most
As a young
trouble.
person, what's the most trouble you got in?
I actually still remember that.
The most trouble would probably be like I was probably 17 and I had work and football the next day, but it was Jack Clagg's 18th birthday.
That's fair enough.
And I think me and your brother ended up in the pool with like just our jocks on and like pool noodles, like gladiator fighting each other.
Was that Jack's open house party or was that his 18th?
Maybe that was the open house party.
It was his 18th.
And I remember
that was
like and I like
Project X.
and it was like 2:33 in the morning and I was still drinking with like people I barely knew. Like I know them now, like Travis Babington, like Tyso, heaps of boys just there, like.
I
just
remember that
drinking.
too because we were all like, "No, we're not drinking. We're gonna play footy tomorrow.
And
We're gonna do a game.
Yeah.
So like, I went home early. I remember it like.
And I did not.
Like, fuck it.
Was this Clay's 18?
Yeah.
Fuck,
And
that
then
was a mission.
Yeah, that was a mission.
That was a mission.
And I remember calling Mum at like maybe 6 and I went to bed about 4 and called Mum maybe like 6:30. Had work at 8. I was like, can you come get me in about half an hour? I need to go home and have a shower and get my work stuff on. And so she picked me up. I'm still blind. Go home.
But you try to have sober?
Yeah. Mum's not happy with me at all. Go home, have a shower, go to work. I don't want to say where I was working, but
I remember at that party, and this is probably
service the next day.
that's probably one of the
not
worst
great
states
service.
I've been in because I was having such a fucking good time that I grabbed. You seen this bottle of vodka with the like Orbeez at the bottom?
Yeah,
the
Cosmos.
Cosmos, yeah.
But they're only like
6 or 7.
Yeah, there's not much
eight
in the
drinks
bottle
or something.
still.
Yeah, but
And
no,
so, like,
you eat the Orbeez as
I was
well.
pretty fucking drunk, and then like I grabbed that off someone and like sculled it, and then I just remember a chick coming up to me and be like, no, because I thought it was white wine, and she's like, no, it's not wine.
Wait, I remember.
And then I was
That was
like,
the first
oh,
time
I gotta go home.
I was gonna say I have a memory
Yeah, that would've
of
been
you
all
like
that
sculling it and
time.
someone coming up like literally grabbing it off you and be like, no, you can't drink that, and you're like, oh, and you're like, can you even eat it? I remember you like chewing the fucking balls. You're like, can you eat these? And she's like, no, spit them out. Spit them out. I don't even remember who that was. I remember that.
Straight home, and I must have been with Noah or Mum, and I didn't get in trouble. This isn't a getting in trouble story. This is probably one of the funniest exits because I remember getting home and like pissing in the bush, and my pants were down to my ankles, and I fell in the bush and I fell asleep. And so I woke up and my cock was in the bark. and my cock was out in the bark, ass hanging out, and I was like woken up by like birds chirping, as you do on a fresh Sunday morning. And fortunately, no one got out of bed and took pictures of me, but I kind of, as you do, shamefully pull up your pants and go crawling on the couch.
I'm pretty sure you were at the footy game we played the next day, and you were still sinking beers and like a can bar, and you're like, woo! Pants still
That
down.
place I'd rather be.
He hadn't put his pants up yet.
Look, guys, we'll finish that one off there. Thanks so much for coming in, everyone. Obviously, this was short notice. Trent, Sam, Josh, absolutely. We'll be seeing you throughout the year. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks
Wash
for
your
watching,
hands.
fellas.
wash your hands
Kiss
and
your
kiss your mum.
Good night, please.
Or Trent will.
Do it or we will. Hurry up. 10 seconds on my phone.